الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم ترحم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما ترحمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم تحنن على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما تحننت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم يا رب وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما سلمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. My dear respected sisters and brothers, elders in Islam, Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah. We thank the Creator for all the boundless mercies He has bestowed upon us, all the gifts that He has given us, all the opportunities that He has provided us with. In reality, everything that is only through the grace of Allah. It's only through the irada and decision of Allah that this whole world came into being. Our own existence is only there through Him. We have been able to spend a little time together here in these beautiful surroundings where land meets sea, to discover, to meet, to reflect, to learn about how to combine our worldly life, our day-to-day businesses and affairs with the journey towards Allah, the spiritual journey that we all have embarked upon, really the day we were born, if not before. The journey of discovery, the journey to try to get nearer to the true aim and purpose of our life, the journey to get to know our Creator, to come to understand where we come from and what is our goal. We have our needs. We need to relate to the world around us. We cannot leave the world and live outside it. We have to be here in the world. But at the same time, we cannot let the world be everything and take our attention away from the purpose of our lives here in this world. There is a poem by one of the great scholars of Islam, one of the Imams of Fiqh, Imam Shafi'i, who, apart from being a muhaddith and a great scholar and a faqih, he was also a poet and a great sha'ir. And I'm thinking of one poem where he says, Inna lillahi, I think it is him, I'm not 100% sure, maybe I'm mistaken. It's the poem, Inna lillahi ibadan futana, طلقوا الدنيا وخافوا الفتنة نظروا فيها فلما علموا أنها ليست لحي وطنا جعلوها لجة واتخذوا صالح الأعمال فيها سفنا. That Allah has some intelligent servants. There are some of the servants of God who have great intelligence, who are aware. They have divorced this world. It doesn't mean that they have divorced themselves from the world in as much as they have left it and they are not even part of the world. They are part of the world. They conduct their businesses, they marry, they have children, they build, they take part in the whole of the surroundings around them. But they have not made this world their only aim. They have divorced themselves from the materialism, from the dependency and the misdirected affection for the worldly matters. We don't have to hate this world. We do not have to hate the dunya. But we should not love it with a love that does not leave room for the love of greater and more important things. So they divorce this world and they fear trials and tribulations. They know that there will come times and situations in this life when you will be tested. Your resolve will be tested. You will be tested upon where do your preferences lie. What are the things you really consider important? How firm are you in your intention, etc. Where do your loyalties really lie? Are they with yourself and your carnal desires, or are they with the higher purpose of your life? They looked upon this world. This word is nazar, which means to look, but it also means to think and to ponder. So they looked and pondered over this world, or they looked upon this world with a thoughtful gaze. And when they came to know that this world, the material world, the aspect of the world, I mean, the world is the same world we live in. If you are a person that is close to God and you are full of spirituality and you are really aware of your purpose, you still live in this world, on the face of the same earth. And if you do not even realize the existence of God and you have no concept of where you are or where you are going or where you come from, you still walk the face of the same earth. But you can relate to it in so different ways. Maybe this is different between you and it. Anyway, so they looked upon this world with a thoughtful gaze, and when they came to realize that this world is not the abode, it is not the resting place for a person alive. أنها ليست لحي وطنا. This is not the watan, this is not the original home of anybody alive. This world is the abode of dead things. Now nothing is dead in this world. We said it earlier, everything is praising Allah. وَإِمِنْ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ. Everything is praising Allah. Everything in this world is singing the glory of Allah. Maybe the only dead thing in this world is that person who does not realize that there is something greater, that there is something beyond, who will not have his or her mind and heart open for this fantastic discovery which is life. You can kill yourself by continuously refusing to listen to that inner voice which tell you there is something more, there is something beyond, there is something higher, there is something above. But anyway, they came to know that this world is not the abode, not the resting place, not the real home. Watan is the real home, where you come from, where you were born, where your parents are, where your family is. The Watan, the real place, not your temporary. Maybe you're living somewhere else, you're studying, you live in student accommodation, or maybe you have gone somewhere to work for a few years and you live there. Your real home, the thing you feel in your heart, this is home. This world is not the home of anybody alive. If you make this world your only home, then you are not really alive. So when they realized that, they made this world a sea. They thought of it in their minds. They made this world, this dunya, this life of the world that we have to pass through, that we have to live, which really is the field of our journey of discovery. We cannot go somewhere else to find God. We have to find God here in this world where we are. So the place is here. There's nowhere else. There's no other field. You cannot go off the world. You have to be here. It is in here, now, while you have these days that you breathe and move upon this world. This is the time, this is the place you have to find the purpose and to find God, to find that eternal you. But they thought of this world that we are living in, that we have to live in, which is the place we are put in, which is not our end, not our purpose, but nevertheless it is our journey. Or it is the geographical location of our journey. It's the place we journey through, not to. They thought of it as a sea. We have the sea here. جعلوها لجة, a sea with waves. A sea which is deep and has waves, which is sometimes also dangerous. It has its dangers. So they thought of this world as a sea, as a deep sea with waves, and they made the good deeds, the salih al-a'mal, ships in the sea. So when they realized that this place is not forever, it is a place we have to pass, we have to get to the other side, and it is really a sea, we need some vessel in which to travel over to the other side. And they made their deeds, their actions, their good actions, they made them into these vessels. So this is what we have to do. This is our purpose. Or this is not our purpose, this is our duty, to ensure that we can travel through this world. We cannot leave it. We cannot ignore it. We can use it. We can look at the fantastic scenery. We can let it enrich our lives. We can use it to understand the greater purpose, to understand ourselves, to understand life, to understand the Creator. And these good deeds, they are everything that we do. It is not only 5 times prayers, it's a very important aspect of our deen, of our way of life, that we stand in front of God, in front of our Creator, in complete humility and servitude and devotion and sincerity, and recite the word of the Quran, the kalam of God Himself, that we bow, that we prostrate, that we do this regularly as part of our program of spiritual development to keep alive the spirit that is there within us, to keep ourselves reminded of our purpose in life. It is an important aspect, but it is not the only deed, or the fasting, or the pilgrimage, or the ordeal, or all the other religious activities. But everything that we do are our deeds. Every single action that we do, every single word that we speak, every single thought that we think are our deeds. So to make them beautiful, to make them good, first of all, salih. Al-amal al-salih is the correct action, the sound action, the action which is performed with the intention to please God and according to the way shown by the Prophet Mohammad, really. That is the salih action, that is the deed. And to try to always increase our presence in this action. Because you can pray your salat, your 2 rakats of Fajr, for example, perfectly correctly. You can pray them at the proper time, sometime between dawn and sunrise. You can have performed the ablutions in the most perfect manner, not leaving a hair, the space of a hair dry on your face or your arms or your feet when you wash them. Or reciting the Quran perfectly in your prayer, with every letter pronounced from the proper place, with the proper qualities, holding your hands in the specified manner, standing, bowing, prostrating, beautifully and perfect. That is the outer aspect of the amal. It will be correct, but there is more. Because where are you? Where are you in this amal? So, for our deeds to become not only correct and sound, but also to become beautiful, and beautiful in the eyes of God, we need this additional aspect, which is called Ihsan. Like the Prophet said, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. That you worship God as if you saw Him. To be there with Allah. We are in the world, we are doing our actions, we are feeding our children, we are going to our place of work, we are interaction with people socially, we are sitting on the train or in the tube or on the bus. We may be reading a newspaper, I don't know. Or going for a walk in the woods, for that matter. Going for a swim, playing football. Whatever we do, how do we make it beautiful? We do that by being in the here and now, by being whole. When you do something, do it with the whole of yourself. The Prophet, peace be upon him, when somebody called on his attention to ask him something or maybe to greet him, he would not just answer like looking this way and answer someone on that side. He would turn, not only with his face, he would turn with his whole body towards that person and face that person. And then he would talk to that person. He was whole. Everything he did with his whole self. The brain, the heart, the body, everything is one. Your speech, what you say, your actions, what you do, your thoughts, your intentions, your feelings, when they are all together as one, then everything you do will also be beautiful. So this really is where we are striving. This is something we are trying to achieve. We may achieve it to a varying degree, and most likely it will be fluctuating in our lives. We will never be in one condition all the time. We may raise and elevate our level, but nevertheless it will always fluctuate. But to strive for this. If you aim for the stars, you may at least reach the top of the mountain. This is, as far as I understand, what it's all about. All the things that we do, gathering here in this place, listening to these beautiful talks of Shaykh Ihsan, to read the Quran, to read books explaining the reality and the intricacies of the spiritual path and the spiritual journey, to interact with one another in a good way. They are all means to this end. Try to become a whole and to make everything that we do beautiful. So I ask Allah, I ask God, I ask our Creator to enable us to fulfill our purpose in life, to really be, in the truest meaning of the word, human beings. May Allah, O our God, O our Creator, please let us come as close as we possibly can to that perfect form in which you created us. O Allah, O our God, O our Creator, elevate us to that status that you have given us. Please, O our Lord, O our Creator, enable us to live our lives in such a way that will incur your pleasure. The thing we really seek is that you would be pleased with us, that our actions, that our words, that our thoughts are pleasing to you. Please make us all into whole human beings, into good and pious servants of you and of one another and of mankind. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina wa nabiyyina wa maulana Muhammadin fil awwalin. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد في الآخرين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد في النبيين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد في المرسلين. اللهم يا رب وصل وسلم وبارك دائما أبدا على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين ولا تنزع عنا صالح ما أعطيتنا ولا تسلب نعمتك عنا وكن معنا حيث كنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. سبحان الله وبحمده. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وأهل بيته ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.